everyone, it's Jason from EskimoTV.net, your local high school educator and Tomato Meter approved film critic. Today I'm reviewing Mufasa, The Lion King, directed by Barry Jenkins. This is Disney's newest prequel to their beloved The Lion King film. To my surprise, this one was better than I expected. Let's talk about why. I'll be honest, my expectations going in were pretty low, especially after the 2019 Lion King. That film was visually impressive, but felt like a rehash of the original film. And when you put those two films side by side, I'm always going to want to watch the 1994 movie over that 2019 film. And so that 2019 movie did feel a bit pointless and less inspired. Thankfully, Mufasa is a story that stands on its own legs, and there's no comparisons to be made. It's not perfect, but it works as an engaging, visually stunning origin story for one of Disney's most iconic characters. The film opens with Rafiki telling Mufasa's story to Kiara, Timon, and Pumbaa. While this framing device isn't entirely necessary, it adds a nice sense of nostalgia for fans of the original. At its core, though, Mufasa, voiced by Aaron Pierre, is an orphaned cub who finds himself on an unexpected journey. Along the way, he meets another cub named Taka, who's played by Kelvin Harrison Jr., along with Sarabi, played by Tiffany Boone, Rafiki, voiced by John Caney, and Zazu, voiced by Preston Nyman. These people shape Mufasa's path, and we get to see how this cub eventually becomes the Lion King of Pride Rock. While the story itself is engaging, it's also a bit predictable. There's a particular reveal that the film tries to build up to, but you can see it coming from a mile away, and I'll save my thoughts on that for this little small spoiler section I'll have at the end of this video. But let's just say it's handled about as well as it could have been. Now, let's talk about the visuals. Much like the 2019 Lion King, this film uses hyper-realistic CGI, which isn't my favorite style. I still prefer the expressiveness of traditional animation or even 3D animation. But that said, the visuals here are undeniably stunning. There are gorgeous wides of sweeping landscapes, and the action sequences are energetic and exciting. Disney knows how to make a beautiful looking movie. The music, composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, is mostly excellent, though I think the film could have trimmed maybe one of them out, and as good as some of them are, several of them sound similar to one another. And so I left liking the music, but not one track was a standout bop that was in my head the whole time. At just under 2 hours, the pacing feels a little long, and I think cutting one song in about 10 minutes of runtime would have tightened things up nicely. Overall, though, Mufasa, The Lion King delivers a story that works on its own. It's predictable, yes, and it doesn't offer the creative freedom that we get with some traditional animation, but it's visually stunning, musically strong, emotionally engaging enough for most families to enjoy. If you're looking for a solid movie this holiday season, it's worth a watch. Alright, let's get into some spoilers now. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, or you just don't want to know any spoilers, pause here, come back later. One of the biggest reveals, and you may know this if you've read or seen a little bit about the movie, so it may not be as much of a surprise, is that Taka, the lion Mufasa befriends, grows up to eventually become Scar. The film explores his jealousy, especially as Mufasa proves to be the natural leader of this small group and is admired by Sarabi, a lioness Taka has feelings for initially. While the story doesn't hide this twist very well, it's still interesting to see how Scar's bitterness begins to take shape. Especially at the beginning, you see him actually as a nice cub who actually saves Mufasa's life when they first meet. This gives more context to Scar's motivations that we eventually see in The Lion King. It adds depth to his rivalry with Mufasa, and I thought was executed fairly well. I think it would have been extremely impressive if they could have hid this a little bit better, but it's kind of hard to when you see him meet another person and they consider each other brothers. You sort of know who he is and where this is headed. I think it's fairly obvious, and I almost avoided making a spoiler section, but if someone goes into this movie and doesn't know that and for some reason doesn't figure it out, the end reveal and how he gets the scar is really interesting, and I appreciated the way that they did that. Well, I think Disney did as much as they could to keep this reveal engaging. It's hard to mask something that does feel this obvious. Still, the dynamic between Mufasa and Taka is compelling enough to keep the story engaging. And fun fact, my friend looked up after the film, Taka actually means waste or garbage, and Mufasa obviously means king. So they really did Scar dirty by giving him a name that literally means trash. That'll do it though for my review of The Lion King. Thank you all so much for watching. What did you think of Mufasa, The Lion King? If you had the chance to see it, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my full written review on EskimoTV.net for more thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. You can also consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos like this in your feed. You can also hit the bell button if you don't want to miss notifications from my next review. I'll see you all next time. Once again, this is Escamilla from EskimoTV.net.